I'm working on a game called Devlog, and in this video I'll show you how I made the demo. The reason why I made a demo is because I needed something to show to people, and I wanted to publish something on Steam. Another reason to have a demo on Steam were the online festivals. Online festivals are really important for developers, because that's where you get the most wishlists. And wishlists convert very well to sales. So if you have a demo, you can apply to festivals and get more sales. The goal of the demo was to make the player understand how the game works. I wanted him to learn how to use the weapons and how the systems of my game works. For example, if you beat an enemy, you get the souls of it and you can upgrade the player. Or if you pick up a weapon, it almost always has an effect. And you can combine those effects to get even stronger. And I wasn't sure if the game was ready, but I knew that I needed feedback. The process of making a demo is very tough. Since it was the first time I made this, I had to fix many things. Bugs, performance issues, and also I had to respond to feedback and change the game accordingly. For example, look at this scene. Everything was probably made twice. The background I had to redo. I also added more layers to it than there were before. I also made these crystals a lot later during the development. Even the general feeling of this level and the looks changed, and I had to redesign the level itself, how the blocks are placed, so where the player moves, and the platforming. I had to change all of that. One of the coolest things that changed was probably crouching, because now you can crouch and you can also slide on the walls. At first I thought this wasn't really necessary or didn't add anything to the game, but after including it, I thought it was really good. This only happened because of player feedback. And player feedback is really important. If players play the game, they can easily spot bugs that you wouldn't ever notice, because you know how you should play the game. They don't play how you want them to play it, they play how they want to play it. So they find new issues and bugs everywhere. One of the things that I really learned was how to deal with feedback. I think one of the most important things about it is that you ask a lot of questions and that you ask the right questions. Because you can't fix it if the player just doesn't know or doesn't remember exactly what he wants to fix. But with questions you can lead him to these answers, and you can make him remember the things that he really wanted to change or that he thought weren't good. For example, I asked one of my testers about the art style, and he said that the player character itself didn't look that good, but only the upper body. And I asked another player the same thing, and he said the lower body of the player wasn't good, but he only said this after I asked about the player character, because it wasn't that annoying that he said it immediately after I asked what was bad about the game in general. Players often say the complete opposite thing, so if the majority of players doesn't have the same opinion on these things, like how the player looks, then it's probably something you can just ignore. And you can especially ignore it if the feedbacks are opposite to each other. If one likes the upper body and one likes the lower body, then what should I do exactly? It's also important to think about the work. It takes a lot of time to change every single animation for the player. So I thought, if I don't have clear feedback that this looks shitty, I don't have to adapt it, I just leave it as it is. Playtesting was also really good to get feedbacks about bugs. During the playtesting phase, some people really found game-breaking bugs. Another thing that changed over time were the weapons. I thought they were too boring, so I had to add these effects. And these effects were inspired by other games and things that you see in gaming everywhere. Fire effects or fire attribute, that's like everywhere. That's in Pokemon or in Zelda or in... This was just Nintendo, but you know what I mean. Even in Dark Souls games, everywhere. So I added poisoning to my game, stunning, and something completely new I call tethering. It's like if you break the defense of an enemy, like tether the flesh of the enemy. Like that's how I imagine it. In my game you can also use weapons and combine their effects to get even stronger. When I designed the enemies for the demo, it was really important that they looked like they belonged into the scene. These bugs eat crystals, and that's why they grow crystals on their own bodies. Because these crystals are condensed magic energy, they are like fuel. Another thing that surprised me was how some people really enjoyed the lore. It wasn't really a lore-focused game, but some people really enjoyed it and really talked to me about the lore. Like they came up to me and just said, "Oh, I found this little Easter egg in the game." It was pretty cool to see people that really enjoyed this. This is the end of the video. Thank you for watching. Play the demo on Steam or wishlist Devswap on Steam.